Basketball Talk Pro. I'm glad you're here. First of all, I want to let you know that I have to move back the class on measuring basketball performance. I'm trying to accompany that class with a book explaining the statistical things so that you have both. And I also, my book that I've been writing for 6 months, it's finished as far as I'm concerned, but there's a lot of editing to do. But I will provide you with a sample fairly shortly, so you can see what it's going to be like. I just want you to know that book and the things that I show you here on Basketball Talk Pro, I know are a little different than what you face and what you learn in many of the online things and clinics and stuff that you go to. I don't apologize for that. In fact, that's, something that I believe it should be. I just want you to know that I understand that some of you are more resistant to it because you're looking at the things that everybody else is doing. I don't think you find much in Basketball Talk Pro that everybody else is doing. So don't just disregard it for that reason. Give it a chance. If you look at history, everything new and different is resisted. When I went to China, what we were doing was resisted very heavily, but it succeeded, and then people wanted to be a part of it. What I'm doing now is I'm going to show you our offense, but I'm showing you it for a reason. Then I want you not to learn our offense as much as you learn about what an offense should be and how we put it together. So part of it, the next part of it is going to be a little bit explanation of that, and then I want to show you the first part of the cut offense series. Keep in mind that by the time I teach the cut one offense, our players are already have gone through the monk offense. They don't have it down well yet, but they do have the principles of monk offense before we would show them our offense against a set defense. So now let me go to some of the reasons and some of the things I would like you to learn from these videos. I plan to put one on to follow through with this in kind of a series as long as it takes. And I'll put them on Sundays. I think it's a good time. Coaches have a little bit more time usually on Sunday, and so they can watch them, and we'll keep them on for 2, 3, or maybe even 4 days so that you have plenty of chance to catch up with them. But now let me take you to the reasons that I want you to learn from this. This is the purpose of it, is to have you learn how to present an offense, why we do it differently, why we do it the way we do, and then you're going to see films on how we present it. So right now, let me show you the reasons and the principles that I want you to get from these videos. Well, as I said, the purpose of these videos for the next few Sundays is not to demonstrate our offense as much as it is to show you what a offense can be, and there's some specific things that I want you to look for as we go through these videos and we explain and show you how to present the offense and even correct it when we get into film work. So the first thing I want you to understand is what you should learn from these videos, what you should be looking for, and you can come back to this if you need to get the specific areas. Well, first of all, why plays fail? Well, first of all, they fail because they're predictable. Most plays are very, very predictable. But the second reason is even in college and in high school, from what I've watched, but especially in the NBA, they run the same plays. Every team does, with the exception of the real good teams, like San Antonio or Jerry Sloan's Utah, and the Triangle. When Phil Jackson was running it, they were different. They were not the same as what the rest of the league was doing. I never understood why they copied each other and didn't win when the teams that didn't copy were winning big. That's a mystery to me. But when you face the same thing day after day, game after game, you get pretty good at defending it. So remember, they're not predictable. They are They are predictable. I'm sorry, they're very predictable, and you get a lot of chance to defend them. So you learn how to defend them. Number two, a set defense has to be scrambled. A set defense, if you allow it to just set and be ready for everything, and you're predictable, you're going to have a great deal of trouble scoring. You need to scramble the defense. You need to get them out of that set situation. That set situation is very, very difficult to score against. Number three, the set offense should highlight team play, not driving and kicking out to two, three guys standing around the outside. This is a team game, so it should incorporate all five players. Number four, your set offense must relate to your overall system that you're running, what you value. What I'm going to show you is a set offense that displays what I value. I value instinctive play. I value very highly improvisation. This offense, all our offense, will show you that. A good offense will use a movement. If you're just going to have one or two guys moving, going off a pick and roll, there's a lot of good defensive things you can do. But with movement, you will find that the defense weakens very rapidly. A good offense will be different from the crowd. It'll be different from those plays that everybody else is running. That offense that everybody else is running. The triangle is different. They've won 11 NBA championships with that. Jerry Sloan's offense was different. You should be different. You don't have to go off the deep end with it. But don't be running something everybody else is running. Run something different. You'll be more effective. Your set offense should be unpredictable. I think you'll see as we go through the Cut 1 series that it is unpredictable. And a good set offense includes improvisation, allowing your players the opportunity to break the play and improvise something that is more effective. It's more effective because it's unpredictable. So those are the things I'm trying to show you as we go through our set offense, because our set offense lives up to these eight principles that we're trying to associate with. So now I want to go to the cut one, which is as part of the cut series, and show you how that play fits into these eight principles. Thank you. Well, this is cut one of the cut offensive series, and this is the basic play, though. This is the first thing we teach, and it's our basic play throughout the whole season. We have to run this play well. That makes everything else well too. But you will find by the end of this series that we're going through that there's a lot of, to me, exciting things you can do with this offense that you couldn't do with many. So we line up in a two-guard front like we do in monk. Our wings are usually start low and try to break into this area here to get the ball. We have a high postman. The high postman always follows the ball. For example, if he would pass over here, 5 would move over. These guys wouldn't move. He follows the ball when it's out at the guards. It changes when the pass is made. The pass that we must make is, like in the monk offense, those of you who know it, this is guard to wing pass. That has to take place. The second thing that takes place in the monk offense and in this offense is the passer cuts and goes away. Actually, this part of it, that cut, usually begins the process of getting the defense scrambled. It's an important cut, but you need to look for it, because a lot of times this guy gets ahead and he can go right in for a layup. The problem is the passer has a little trouble making that pass. In practice, when we're practicing without defense, we work very hard to make this guy aware of the passes that he has possible. This is something they have to learn. We don't particularly use this guy as a screen. We never want him to come out to screen, otherwise it messes up the timing. This guy uses them if he can or wants to. He could come in and do this and go. You know, he has those options that he can use. Now, once the pass is made and the cut is taken, he will stop right here. This guy will stay out. Then the 5-man kind of comes up to the top of the key and sets a screen. The reason for this is in cut 1, the ball must come back. So they start to overplay this pass. And we have counters against it. We'll get into that later. But I teach our guard that's away to get really good at this. Take them down and then break hard off of them. Get them screened here. Don't just do this, you know, just halfway. Our guards get very good at it, especially if you're a high-scoring guard. You better be good at it or you never get the ball. They overplay you hard. So this is the movement that we make up to this point. Okay, over here, our second look at it. Now 3 has the ball. 2 is coming off for the pass. 5 is here, setting that screen. Nothing happens. This is not happening yet. But when the pass is made, 4 goes down and sets a light screen. We do not require this guy to just be head hunting down there. Just brush this guy so this man gets open in a good position. He waits. The ball comes, nothing happens. Screen comes, the guy's here, he starts to dribble. You'll see down here, we ask our players when they get the ball to take a good hard one or two dribbles towards this passing area so that you have a good angle on the pass. This guy comes down and kind of brushes, he comes out, he continues across the lane, and here's where he's going to set the important screen. Okay, now 2 has got the ball. 5, once he gets the ball, you'll see a draw down here, but he starts to move like this towards the middle of that lane, but not yet. He doesn't go down yet. The minute that this guy gets the ball, 2, you can see what 5 is doing. 4 has now gotten over here. 1 is out here receiving the pass. 2 dribbles, a good hard quick pass in here to this guy. Okay, now for an instant, this guy's got the whole side of the lane cleaned out. This is where we improvise. If this guy has the opportunity, we never correct him for breaking the play. There's some other opportunities also that you'll see as we go through this play. So he takes 2 dribbles. Once he passes, it's important that he clears way over to here. I didn't draw it way over because it was confusing, but that's where we want him, over here. So now 1 has the ball, 4 is setting a screen, 5 is kind of waiting around the free throw line. He's going to be a screener also. 3 is holding here. Now, when the pass is made, 2 is clearing. Now 3 walks his man down and makes this cut. I showed you about 2 weeks ago the baseline cut drill. And you go back to that, because I spent a lot of time talking to you about walking the guy down. If you don't do that, this is not going to be really effective. The minute that this guy cuts, and we ask him to make that cut, though I've had players that have been with me a while know when to improvise that and come over the top. We don't encourage that, but that's part of being instinctive and improvising at the time. 5 now is going down, and here's why. Here's what we tell them. We don't care who you screen. Just find a guy that doesn't have the same color jersey you got, and if he's sitting down in here, screen him. Because we don't know if they're going to switch or anything that they're going to try to do. But usually what happens is this guy's defensive man helps on that cut, and that's the guy you usually end up screening. That is why the minute that this cut is made, no head fakes, no anything, just turn and cut right up to the elbow. This guy's probably going to pick them off for you. We get a lot of shots here, a lot of shots, wide open jump shots, and it just works. We get a lot of, this guy's going to get a layup if he doesn't get help. If this guy doesn't step off a little bit, if this guy gets defended, this guy won't get defended, and he's going to get a nice shot here. Not always, but that's what we're looking for. Now it continues. That's our 4th look at it. Try to remember where these positions are, but I do have them drawn. Now 1 has the ball. 3 has broke in here, 4 has come up to here, 2 is clearing all the way off over here, 5, when he gets done, steps outside the lane. Very important. This inside's got to be open. He has the option of who he hits. But let's say he passes to this man. And this is a big part of this play, because usually this guy, now this guy has some options. You know, he got the shot. He's in a good position to pass. He's also in a good position to drive, if that opens up for him. Now we get a screen down. Here is a beautiful, beautiful part of the play. We have taught our players by this time what to do on a screen down. Ball's right here. Couldn't ask for it any better. This guy can do anything he wants. Back step, curl, go out, flare, go out here. And the screener has the same movements. Goes out here, he posts up. If he goes out here, he pops. You know, it curls, he pops. Back steps, he pops. All of that, that's beautiful area. 5 is here. Okay, now, let's say you don't get anything off of this. 4 has got the ball. 3 now would be out here, or put something close to that. 4 then turns and looks at 5. That's the signal. 5 now, button hooks this guy in, right in the middle of the lane. Boy, is that great place to get the ball. I mean, if you got anybody at all, cripple, a guy could score when he gets the ball in here. And this guy, we work with him to how to make that pass. But let's say this guy gets on top after he's been burned a couple times. Then we pass to 2. Now this guy just turns and gets him right on his back. The ball comes in from here. This is a tough play to defend when it's run right, and we get where we can run it right. All right, let's want with the last option here. Let's say he passes down here to 3 to post up. Now he's got a post up move. He sets the screen for 4. We've got all of these stunts in here. That's where we say we're improvising. We're playing by instinct. We're playing by feel at this point. Now, anytime that this goes, haywire, doesn't happen, something we get out of place, whatever, then we got monk. And this takes about, to go all the way through to here, takes about 7 or 8 seconds. So you still probably got about 10 on a normal possession. And then we got monk for those last 10. They are scrambled by now. They are in scramble. So monk we get so we can seamlessly go. Somebody on the team will say monk, and that's all you got to say, for one word. You don't have to send them an email or anything. One word, monk. The whole team knows now we're in our freelance offense, and they can do it seamlessly. So that's the whole thing. I'm going to show it to you on film. It'll make a lot more sense to you. But everything that's on this board that I've shown you, you will see in films. Well, I hope that these next Sundays will give you, so that you're learning some principles of defense, of offense. If you want to use cut 1, which is a very good offense, welcome to it. But run it this way. Don't start tweaking it. Run it just like you got it here. You don't try to outsmart me. I've been doing it for 30 years. You've got a lot of catching up to do with what's up here. Just take it and run it the way I showed you and the way you're going to see. But if you don't want to run it, the principles are the same if you want a good, effective set offense. So we'll see you in a week. Thank you.